all friends. Our today's topic is the third area of life, which is emotional. Emotional intelligence is very crucial in determining a person's long-term success. Science has proved that a person with higher emotional quotient is more successful than a person with higher intelligence quotient. Friends, we live in a culture where expressing emotions is not that very common. We are not open to expressing emotions. We are rather suppressing our emotions. Also, in our culture, boys and males from young age are being told that it is very bad for a boy to cry. So, we are not allowed even to express crying as a strength. It is determined as a weakness. Also, anger, in fact, on the other hand, is labeled as having enough strength. Anger is taken as a sign of strength in a man. Also, when we see women which are abused, it is a taboo for women to express her abuse history and drain off. So friends, when we do not express our emotions, it affects ultimately the health of a person. Emotions has three aspects, which is the body, the mind and the emotion in itself. And let me give you an example how emotions influence your body. Suppose if your emotions are expressed, then it is vented off, it is resolved, and the dissolved emotion will not hurt you or will not affect your sleep, your thirst, your food, your appetite and your energy levels. You have the power within yourself. But in case you suppress your emotion or you do not face your emotion and resolve it, there are different ways of resolving emotions. When you do not resolve an emotion, your appetite is decreased, you feel sad, you feel weak throughout the day, and in turn your body energy levels are also affected. You might be noticing in your day-to-day practices, whenever if a closed person or a friend of yours, if he criticizes you in a way that hurts you because you are connected to him or her, then you feel sad, dull throughout the day. You cannot carry out your routine work and your planned schedules for that day in a regular way. So friends, you can just note down that there are two major components of the emotional intelligence aspect. The first one is the intrapersonal component, which is the personal competency skills, and the second one is the interpersonal component, which is between you and the other people around you, which is the social competency skills. The intrapersonal component is further divided into 5 different components which we have to address. Remember that there are total 6 factors now, which is the 5 intrapersonal components and the 1 interpersonal component. 6 areas of emotional intelligence are associated with different aspects of emotional quotient. So depending on the area, we as a coach usually at a clinic decide which part has to be corrected. So for assessment, our plan is like we first do assessment tests. We determine how much is the self-awareness of the person and is the person actually aware of the emotional disturbances or he is unaware. Because most of the times people are like into hurry and worry situations. Most of the times people take unconscious decisions in their life. They are totally into flight or fright mode, into totally stress and anxiety responses. So most of them might be unaware, but we have to make them aware first. So first, at the first of the core program is the awareness test and the assessment of the areas which need to be addressed. The second one is the laying the foundation for achieving emotional intelligence development. The foundation laying actually involves the self-awareness program first. And self-awareness is a must for each and every individual at any level, because if you are not aware about your own self, your own thoughts, your emotions and your motives of what decisions you take in life, then how would you succeed in your life? So laying the foundation means building self-awareness of the person, explaining to the person what emotions are and how do they act, what is the emotional intelligence program and how does it run around a course of say 4 to 6 weeks. The third aspect would be developing a core program according to the area which we have seen as the problem area in that person. So it is the assessment, laying the foundation and developing the core program. So you can do this for yourself if possible at your home. Otherwise, I am coming with nice solutions for you in few months itself. The first area of intrapersonal skills is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the core and the foundation skill for a person to progress in life. A person has to be aware of himself, of his emotions, of his belief and his thought patterns for him to control and self-regulate himself. The signs of a person who is not aware of himself is the people who are baffled by their own thoughts, by the way they react, by the way they behave, the people who are baffled by their own decisions in life sometimes. Most of the times people are stressed and they are anxious people who cannot control certain situations, and their feelings control them, and the feelings control how the way they lead their life or how the way they lead their day-to-day life. Also, for few people, it is difficult to handle or cope up with difficult people. They have relationship issues. They have lack of self-confidence. For some people, it could be overwhelming of work. For most of the times, we tend to pile up on too much work and then we feel overwhelmed because we cannot manage and we are not aware of our own thoughts and emotions. So self-awareness at this area is a must. For self-awareness, what you can do is you can identify at what certain situations are you baffled or you are not in control of your emotions, and what causes these emotions. So these are the two key aspects for self-awareness. You have to just identify and what causes it. The second component is managing emotions. You must have seen that most of the people, when they feel certain things, they just block off their emotions. They do not face the emotions and they run away from the emotions. When we suppress our emotions, we start finding diseases at the body level which accumulate. You might not be knowing that a person who is born healthy as a child, why does he have BP, or why does he develop sugar or thyroid related diseases or certain lifestyle modified diseases which we call as stress induced diseases. These are because of these suppressed emotions, the unexpressed, the unresolved emotions. So for managing emotions area, you have to see and identify which emotions you are suppressing. There are people who either suppress the emotions or there are people who overreact to the emotions. Overreacting also causes mental stress. It tires it drains of your energy and the energy of the people that are with you. So the second area is managing emotions. The third area is your thoughts and beliefs. So friends, you must have seen most of the people and you have to see it in yourself also, whether you are self-blaming all the time, you are having negative self-talk all the time. Self-criticism can be in this area of beliefs and thought processes because it relates to our childhood history also. We have to as a coach, we have to most of the times go into their childhood history to find out the root cause of the beliefs. Also, it could be like overwhelming emotions which cannot be controlled, could be in thoughts and beliefs thing. Again, this aspect is most of the people, or women, mostly it is found in women, that they do a lot of negative self-talk. They keep on repeating the same stories, they keep on repeating the same events and the things which they have faced again and again. Some people keep on repeating their past and they have stories regarding their past. Also, there are limiting beliefs. So we have to find what limiting beliefs are present. If you have any limiting belief, you have to just try and trace it down so that when you trace certain problems, the half work is already done. Fourth aspect is stress and circumstances. Most of the times, stress is related to the life problems itself rather than the circumstances. And stress can also be related to the thought patterns, to the thinking patterns and your inability to deal and cope up with the difficult people around you, maybe in the family or in office itself. So stress in itself is a problem, not the circumstance, friends. So understand the stress can be resolved by managing your own emotions, by reframing your thoughts, beliefs and your patterns. The fifth aspect is personal power. Low motivation in this area is found. Motivating oneself is the key to attain your power back. Most of the times, people with less personal power are found having signs of appreciating others and gaining appreciation for them in turn. So people are appreciation seeking, validation seeking people fall in this category of low personal power. Also, these people are people pleasers and intend they turn to sacrifice a lot for such people. They sacrifice in terms of their energy, in terms of their money, in terms of their own health, and then they develop again a self-blaming attitude, a negative talk towards themselves, and these people are found to have low confidence. So motivating oneself through one's own personal capacity, increasing the capacity, less validation seeking, and many mechanisms are to be sought in this area to gain the personal power back again. And now the sixth area, which is the interpersonal area, that is the interpersonal relationships. Because friends, interpersonal relationships is a major aspect of our life. Most of the problems that we face today are not because of the life situations or the life circumstances, but because of the people around us which we cannot deal with. For this interpersonal relationship aspect, you just have to write down which person, the problems you are having, what are the basic core beliefs that you carry about this person, and it is not for the person you have to change, but you have to change for yourself, because your life circle of control is within yourself. It is not, you cannot control the front person, but you can control yourself. And then you have to note down all these 6 areas which I told you. Then you can just see the signs and relate if there is any sign in you. Also, if there is any sign, you can just reframe your thoughts and beliefs and check whether you can gain your emotional power back. In this way, what will happen is you will develop a nice emotional intelligence aspect. When the emotional intelligence is at its peak, you can have a beautiful capacity to problem solve, to enjoy the kind of life you want, to reshape and redirect your own decisions so that it does not affect your life. Remember, emotional intelligence is the key to long-term success and it needs to be addressed. So now friends, first of all, let me tell you why emotional intelligence is so very much crucial. Emotional intelligence especially helps you to know your own emotions, to know your thoughts, to know the underlying beliefs that you are carrying within yourself, and ultimately to know your own energy levels and how it is that your thoughts are affecting your day-to-day life, the way you react. You can, when you know all these things, you can then control and manage your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, and you can redirect them so that your emotions do not hamper your life. In fact, you take control of your emotions, you take in charge of your emotions, and you redirect your life towards your own desired goals. The second aspect in this is emotional intelligence helps develop a nice rapport between you and your person around you. Maybe the family members, it could be your boss, it could be at your work area, it could be at your routine home with your staff where women are handling their maids. So when we build a nice emotional rapport with such person, we find a common ground, because when we understand our own emotions and thoughts and we can control and redirect them, we can also understand the other person's emotions and thoughts by being grounded in our own zone, by not reacting, rather responding. So when the other person is emotionally agitated or there is a scenario, we can still be grounded within our own selves and we can respond to the other person rather than reacting, so that we create a good rapport with that person and the relationships are maintained. Do you know 90% of the problems that are in the people's lives, maybe in offices, maybe at workplace, maybe at home, are all because of emotional connections which are disturbed with the person around them, maybe with the colleagues, maybe with the boss, maybe with the mates. So it is not actual problems or the material problems which are existing, but the problems at the emotional level, they are existing as to connection with peers, some misunderstandings, some judgments, people are judging you, people are abusing you, people are blaming you and you're not liking it. Then you do not form a good rapport, and then there are these problems. So most of the stresses are related to this. Also, emotional intelligence development helps decreasing your levels of stress. Emotional intelligence helps in your capability to problem solving. It also develops your capability to deal and cope up with the difficult people around you so that you stay in your own grounded and peaceful state. It also helps in creating creativity. So emotional intelligence helps develop the brain in a creative manner, because when you are in peace with yourself and when you are in peace with the others around you, you can easily get into a state of creativity, which is the flow state. So friends, now that we know that emotional intelligence helps us in so many aspects, we have to be aware of our own emotions and how the emotions are influencing us and how we are behaving or taking our life decisions based upon these emotions. So please do address this area, and then I'll meet you again next Monday in our area of spiritual aspect of life, which is the fourth aspect. Looking forward to see you all there. Do like, share and subscribe my channel.